there was essentially what happened on the West Coast, in California here, and actually up and down the West Coast, was not some vast rejection, the way we saw a lot of the parts of the country reject it with Trump. That they, in fact, well, if you listen to the voice of the Californians through the initiative system, for example, there was a very progressive kind of vision emerging here. So can you
No, and
talk a little bit
I'm very proud because I had 2 of those.
You did.
17. I was part of the problem. Sorry, it was a long ballot. But the NRA is on. I mean, they just announced they've never done better in an election, but they count California out of that equation. Look, everything outside. Look, we had the 17 initiatives. The one that frankly surprised me, then at the same time did not surprise me, because historically it's been an interesting and similar trend, is the death penalty, where the voters rejected the repeal of the death penalty and actually endorsed fast-tracking the death penalty, which is going to lead to a lot of legal questions. But in almost every other instant, we moved in a more progressive, and I would argue enlightened, direction. Look, you have a couple things going for California, and I think the most significant is the current governor's leadership. And I really mean this, and I'm not saying that we're not elected together. He and I disagree on a number of issues, but he has proven one thing that's profoundly important to me as a Democrat. You do not need to be profligate to be progressive. And this is a fundamental principle that is a powerful principle for us to export across the rest of the nation. It's a foundational one. And it's given people, I think, a sense of confidence and a foundation that allows us to say, all right, maybe we will move now in a new direction and start to unwind what happened in the early 90s, right? Remember, we went through all this, guys. This is so familiar for all of us out in California. You went through this in 1994, right? Prop 187 and the xenophobia and the nativism with Pete Wilson. We went through this, the UC regions. We got rid of that same year. You forget, 94 is one of those vintage years. 1994 is a year we rejected affirmative action at the UC system. It's also the year we advanced 3 strikes. And here we are now, right, unwinding those things, Prop 57 and mandatory minimum sentences and determinate sentencing reform, what we did with Prop 47 a couple of years ago, what we did on the issue, whether you agree or disagree, but it was a profound criminal justice reform, and that was the legalization and taxation of marijuana for adult use. It was a profound issue of, I would argue, social justice, racial justice, and economic justice. We're moving now in a different direction. And, dare I say, we went through the Trump experiment. It's not fair, and I like them, and I do not want to compare, but there are aspects that can be compared. We went through it with Schwarzenegger. We kind of did the celebrity thing. Can't get much worse, we said, right? Remember, we had a governor who was recalled. We had it. Special interest, the corruption, all the big money up in Sacramento. They're not listening to us. What can we lose? And besides, he married well. So maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But it didn't work out so well, right? And of course, the antidote to that was Jerry Brown, who proved the point that experience does actually matter. But nonetheless, California, we love to say the future happened here first. And I would argue politically as well.